Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Won't get that close to the mic then.
Cool.
I won't eat the mic.
Eat the mic.
There's only one thing that it's good for. Children of the 90s here, folks.
Indeed. Magic of live podcasts. So we're live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, cool. That means I get to say hi, I'm Jack.
And I get to say hi, I'm Jonathan.
And we are Glib Shark. Lauren is on assignment in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso.
That is a place, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Geography B champion would know.
Well, sure. I mean, it used to be Upper Volta.
You know, the thing is, here's the dangerous thing about you being a Geography B champion.
Okay.
You've set this expectation that you know a lot about geography, and you do.
Yeah.
You've demonstrated that many, many times. We trust that the information you are giving us is accurate. One of these days, if you really wanted to turncoat and go trader, you could give us bad geography information and we wouldn't know.
You could look it up on Google or anything. Like, anything I do could be discredited as 5 minutes Wikipedia, potentially. So, I mean...
I'm just saying that, well, now that you put it that way, that is true.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't have, like, a magical knowledge device in our pocket, like, all the time.
That has more computer power than all the machines that sent Neil Armstrong to the moon 40 years ago.
All of them. Every single one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Almost 46 years ago. But that would make Jay from Men in Black 46. It's pretty old. Did you see Men in Black 3?
I didn't see Men in Black 3. I stopped at... Has there been a 4 or was 3 the one where he did the time travel shit?
3 was time travel.
Okay.
But no, the reason I bring it up, I only saw it recently. It was on FX randomly, and my wife and I watched it. And there's a scene, spoiler warning for a 7-year-old movie, where you see a young Jay in Florida for the lunar launch.
Oh, and like there's an alien that's trying to blow up the lunar launch or something.
Yeah. I mean, the details aren't that important, but the point being that it sets Agent J in time and it anchors him to that moment. So the next time we see him, he'll be like 50.
How old is Will Smith actually? Like how?
If I had to guess, I'd say 45, but let's find out. Smith age 47. Wow, he's 47 years old. That's crazy.
The Fresh Prince is almost 50.
Gosh. At what point do you stop calling yourself a prince? I mean, I guess the artist formerly known as Prince, who's currently known as Prince, is well into his 50s by now.
Well, I think it's all about when you would ascend to the throne. So, like, you could die a prince. Like, you could be 60 years old, and if your dad, who's king, is still alive, you're still going to be prince.
Or mom, in the case of certain princes who shall remain nameless. Yeah, so actually, Prince is 57 years old.
He's a sexy motherfucker.
He is. Sheila E. is the same age, apparently. I think this is going to be the hour of how old are various celebrities. All right, I'll do one more. Arsenio Hall. How old do you think he is?
I'm going to say Arsenio Hall is 56.
59.
All right.
Not too far off.
Yeah, I could have done better.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence is 50. Steve's older than Steve Harvey, which is kind of surprising to me.
Really? Steve Harvey's only 50?
58.
Oh, 58. Oh,
and
okay.
Eddie Murphy is 54. Thanks, Google.
Wow, I did not realize. I would have thought that Eddie Murphy was older than Steve Harvey.
You know, I would too. But I think it's because Eddie Murphy's been around for a lot longer. I think Steve Harvey got a later start in showbiz. See, the thing is, you probably could challenge me on my on celebrity ages or whatever, but I think when it comes to geography, I'm above reproach.
Oh yeah. I do want to. This show does not exist in a vacuum, so just to get it out of the way, and we won't dwell on it because there's already been tons and tons of coverage on this.
Yeah,
we just wanted to say that we feel for all of the victims and and anyone who was affected by the events in Paris over the weekend,
and Beirut and
and
Baghdad
Beirut,
and
and
Tokyo and Kenya. So I mean, these are troubling times. This is kind of some 1914 stuff going on right now. You wondered what it would take to get the Americans and the Russians on the same page, and I think they might be there. And of course, the bombing of the Russian airplane over Sinai.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just so brazen. Just the attack, like the idea that they knew that doing this would bring the Russians and the Americans closer together, and they just don't care. They're just like, this is what we need to do to bring about our twisted version of the way we think things should be. But thoughts and prayers. I mean, we could go into the politics of it, or we could talk about how you can help. I mean, there are links for Nerdist put a link up for the French Red Cross. You can definitely
right.
donate to them.
The International Red Cross, the International Red Crescent, both of those are going to be good. This is an organization that I've heard a couple of times from a couple of different people. Direct Relief is another good one, and there's a small amount of research you could do if you want to go outside of the of the big charitable organizations, and that's fine. It's if you want to help and this is the only way you can, then I'm sure it'll be appreciated.
And I'm sure everyone's Facebook wall has been a sort of reaction to all of these events, but also some of the politics of it, whether, the whole refugee crisis that is as a result of this, whether and what to do about that. I
Right.
mean, rather than post a whole treatise on that, I posted a song that pretty much captures the way I think about that kind of issue. It's called "On the Turning Away" by Pink Floyd. It's actually from the 1987 album "Momentary Lapse of Reason." Listen to that song, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about what I think about the migration crisis.
And it really is sickening. And just to go political for just one more time,
Sure.
it's sickening that that politicians and leadership are basically kind of flailing about and saying, "Hey, we don't want to do this," when it is a decision that is totally not up to them. If the United States government and the State Department wants to bring over and house refugees, they can do that anywhere they want. It doesn't matter that the state governor has said that they're not going to allow it.
And
I
if
mean,
you didn't like it, you shouldn't have given Ronald Reagan that power in 1980. Or I guess it would have been
exactly.
Jimmy Carter.
I'm not sure about.
I think Reagan
I
was
don't know
elected in 80, but he only came to office in 1981.
right. So if it
So it would
was
have been
in
Jimmy
1980,
Carter.
then it would have been Carter. Yeah.
Huh. But I mean, that's the thing. Our country is a nation of immigrants. We were built from people from different lands, just trying to make a better life for themselves. And the vast majority of people, like who are coming from that part of the world, are trying to escape the very same terror that you claim to despise. And by turning them away, you only incentivize that terror.
I was telling someone because we were discussing the whole refugee situation. This is a very critical time for not relations with Muslim folks now, but with Muslim folks in the future, like the next generation. These children of immigrants are going to remember how they were treated, and they're going to remember mostly the bad because bad memories tend to fester. So we have to extend so much kindness and support to overcome that, so that when those children grow up and are leaders in those communities, they know that they can trust the West. They can trust Christians. They can trust people from other tribes. That work has to be done now. And any divisive behavior, when there doesn't need to be that kind of behavior, it just hurts. And it's something that is just so wholly unnecessary.
Well, I completely agree, but then I'm the son of an immigrant, so I would say that. But
Right.
practically speaking, and even if you only care about yourself, I mean, out of self-interest, the fewer enemies you make. I mean, if it costs you next to nothing, then why wouldn't you? I mean, the idea that the vast majority, I mean, there are probably you vet them, you screen them. We already have things in place for that now. But the idea that you just need to stop because of fear, like if you're acting out of fear rather than facts, then I mean, it's a cliche, but the terrorists have won, and you're playing right into their hands.
Yeah, exactly.
But off of our soapboxes because we're not
Off,
really a political
we're
show.
hopping off, and
Yeah,
we're hopping on to. I have a couple of things that I want to talk about, and I'm saving the big one kind of for last.
cool.
But uh, but the first thing I wanted to cover is something that just happened. I've played Destiny. Obviously, if you've listened to this show, you've listened to me talk about Destiny a lot. There is one more achievement that I needed to complete all of the Destiny achievements that are available right now, and that is the King's Fall raid hard mode completion. Friend of the show, Izzy, got this on Sunday. And I the reason why I mentioned that is because Izzy and I's Destiny careers have been intertwined. We've done a lot of the same stuff together. A lot of the big achievements we've gotten together. And this was one of the few, not one of the first, but one of the few that we got apart. She got hers on Sunday running with some of our normal crew and a bunch of randoms via sites like Destiny, LFG, and on Reddit, our fire teams. This kind of spurned me to, not spurned me, but kicked me into action. And I was like, okay, I need to get this done as well. And I'm getting ready to leave for a board gaming convention tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do it anytime soon. So I resolved to do it before the show tonight. And I'm happy to report that we did. Myself, the before mentioned Izzy, our new friend, Mitch Parker, who is a guardian at RTX. So if you see a guy with a massive beard who is actually a guardian, that's probably Mitch. If you see another guy with a massive beard, it's probably not Darn Clem because he shaved that off. But Mitch is solid. Izzy is obviously solid. We picked up a few randos. Two of them quit on us. So we get to the last boss and we lose two of our guys. And when I was talking to Izzy about the completion, how that goes, she actually mentioned that people need to be resolved to finish it. If you're not, and you wipe a few times and you don't initially succeed in killing the final boss, that's fine. That's going to happen. But she was warning that people will quit. You will lose people from your random fire teams that are like, oh, we've wiped twice on this boss, I'm done. And sure enough, we had that tonight. And I was a little bit to blame because my game was not completely on point. But we found a couple more randos that were very patient, that came with us and ended up finishing off the raid. I didn't get as much loot as I wanted, but I got some stuff. But hard mode completed, Destiny 100%ed. I'm not quite done with the game, obviously. I'm still going to play, but it's kind of a load off my mind. So that, like I said, that just happened, and I'm still kind of all giddy about it. It was super awesome.
Good on you, brother. It's a nice capstone to what's been already an impressive Destiny campaign. I mean, our website is full of videos of you guys playing this game.
Yeah, and we're not done. We were gonna run a Nightfall mission before the show, but I ended up running out of time, and I needed to get ready for this convention that I'm going to be going to. So we just figured we'd probably do it when I get back, which is not going to be until Sunday.
And it's perfect transition. It's something that's been a part of the show for a very long time. You're going to BoardGameGeek.com.
Yeah. I kind of wish I could take all of the audio equipment and do a show there, because the couple of times I did do a show, it was a lot of fun. It's just kind of a hassle, and I am going to be transporting people down, so it's not just going to be me. So I can't just load up the back of my car with audio equipment, with all the other stuff that I'm going to be bringing. But I'm very excited. This is a yearly tradition for me. It is a very easy con to do because I really only need to take off 2 days for it. It's right there in Dallas, and it is by far, out of all the conventions I do in the year, it is the one where I do the most convention stuff.
And it's one of the things that I've been trying to do for a long time, but every year something gets in the way. It's like that and PAX Prime. Every year it's like, maybe I should go. And then every year it's like, oh, I can't go.
I will say that that one of the benefits of BGG.con is that it is in the airport. So once you arrive at DFW, you don't have to go anywhere. You take the tram Not even a shuttle. Like the little tram will take you to the hotel and drop you off there.
Oh,
As well, yeah. And so you don't have to worry about an Uber or a taxi or bus or anything. You can just you're as soon as you fly into Dallas, you're right there.
so for the people who refuse to take a shuttle but are okay with a tram, it's perfect.
Right. Well, and it's one of those deals where it takes you in between the terminals. So it's not. I mean, it's like a monorail kind of thing. It's a lot of the larger airports have them for obvious reasons because they're fucking huge. The other good thing about BGG is you can leave on Sunday. Sunday is not a convention day. There are no events going on Sunday. Saturday is the big send off, and that's to allow for the travel that people do on Sunday. So that is really nice. I think it was either last year or year before, a giant ice storm was coming through. We almost left on Saturday night. We ended up leaving pretty early on Sunday morning and still got a little bit of it. It was a very harrowing drive from Dallas to the Oklahoma City area, but obviously we made it through okay, and it was just more interesting than I like my drives back home from Dallas to be.
I was about to say, I mean, we wouldn't think that ice would be that bad in the Dallas area, considering how far south it is. But then you realize that compared to other areas that deal with snow and ice all the time, I don't think Dallas has as many snow trucks or as much salt.
Oh no, absolutely not. And that was one of the big things a couple of years ago, if you'll remember, when Dallas hosted the Super Bowl and everyone, like all the venues and stuff were outdoor. Like no one had planned for indoor activities, and then the snow and ice hit.
Ta-da!
It's magic.
Ice magic or snow magic, or there's a Frozen reference in there somewhere if you want to reach and grab
I
it.
think it's called cryomancy.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there's a game at BoardGameGeek.com where you can play as a cryomancer.
I would imagine so. I am looking forward to some of the activities that I've come to love: the game show, the puzzle hunt, the Battling Tops tournament. I'm actually looking at my Battling Tops costume, and I can't wait to show it off. I actually haven't found my mask. I need to go and figure out where that is.
Oh yeah, the Lucha mask.
The luchador mask, yeah.
So riddle me this: like, if you find, let me think. I mean, probably most board games known to man will be some version or some iteration can be found there. At least a lot of them.
What was that?
I was saying, like, pretty much any board game you can think of, and a lot that you can't, you could probably find at BoardGameGeek.com.
Yes. The library is very extensive. I would be surprised if there was a game that you could not find there, either in the library or from something that someone has brought.
Okay, can you do me a solid? If I PayPal you a little bit of legal tender, and it should be easy to find. It's a fairly mainstream game. Can you find me a copy of Anti-Monopoly?
Anti-Monopoly?
Anti-Monopoly.
That might be available to check out. I don't know if it'll be sold. The actual vendors who are selling stuff,
They sell newer stuff.
They sell newer stuff.
Gotcha.
Like I said, you might be able to find it in the library, but you probably wouldn't find it for sale.
I mean, I could probably find it on Amazon anyway. But if
you
you
know
happen to
what?
see it, take a picture of it.
I say that I am going to be going to the flea market. Now, the flea market is a little early on Saturday. And given the kind of activities I do at this thing, early on Saturday is kind of rough. But what the flea market is exactly what it sounds like. People who are attendees who in advance say, hey, I would like a booth at the flea market, can get a little booth at the flea market, and they sell their stuff for cash.
Interesting.
And I think actually a few of them do take credit cards now because like Square and stuff, those portable credit card readers are very prevalent now. So I would not be surprised if you had a significant portion of people at the flea market who also could take credit card. Like right there.
I played as a kid. Anti-Monopoly is sort of like was released in the late 70s. I think it may also go by the name Anti-Monopoly 2 because apparently there was original Anti-Monopoly, which is different. But this game deals with competitors and monopolists. So basically you can either be a competitor and believe in like free trade and like anti-monopoly establishment or whatever, and it changes the way you compete. But it's much harder to win than if you're a monopolist and you can double your rents once you own a monopoly. It's so crazy. I don't even know why my sisters bought it, but I remember having fun playing it. So So let me know if you see it.
I will. Yeah, I will keep a noodle eye out for Anti-Monopoly.
Yay! Oh man, I'm coming up on Thanksgiving. Like I think next week's gonna be our Thanksgiving show. I'll be you coming. You'll be back by then.
Oh yeah, I'll be back. I was thinking about it earlier. Since I'm not working Thanksgiving or Black Friday this year, I have 2 3-day weeks in a row.
Nice. Kind of the same deal for me. I had all of last week off, and then Monday of this week off, and then I have a 4-day week this week and a 3-day week next week. So pretty nice, pretty cherry. Got to spend all of last week hanging out with my dog and going to 2 weddings, I guess.
How is House de Edithel these days?
It's going pretty nicely actually. My wife and I had dinner. We just we freed up, we cleared off a whole bunch of bills, which always feels good. So I'm feeling all right these days. We actually found a $50 gift certificate to Red Lobster. I don't even know why I have a $50 gift certificate. Went to the website. Apparently, it's still good. So we may be going to Red Lobster at some point in the very near future.
I have not. I can honestly say I have not been to Red Lobster in a long, long time.
It used to be our go-to spot growing up. Anytime there was a major family event like a graduation or a birthday milestone birthday party, like not just any birthday party, it had to be like 5, 10, whatever, right? We went to Red Lobster, except for the 3-year Red Lobster embargo. I don't know if I ever told you the story.
Oh no.
Okay, so in
I'm super interested.
2002, my brother and my cousin, you know him as my best man. And my brother, of course, is the priest to officiate over my wedding. They graduated from high school, and we decided to go to Red Lobster for them. My sisters, my brother, and my cousin went ahead. I was with my parents, and we wonder what's taking them so long. This place is like right around the corner from us, and we go there and we find out that outside, and my sister's talking to the owner or the manager or something, and apparently they were seated after like an hour wait, and then they were all promptly told to leave like after like a few minutes because they're closing the kitchen. And my dad just like he was fed up because he's hungry at this point, and not just hungry but hangry. Like me pretty well. Like I am a pretty chill person. I don't really get that angry unless I'm hungry. That's one of the key things about me. And my dad's the same way. So he looked him in the eye and said, "Are you going to see this or not?" And he said, "No, we can't." And then he said, "We're never coming here again." And never was only about 3 years. But that's still a long time to avoid a restaurant chain.
Right. It like if it's a bistro in the middle of downtown,
Yeah.
pretty easy to say screw you, never coming back.
Right, because they may not be back in 3 years, and like that's the thing. Like, there's such turnover in the restaurant industry that any manager or even server that was associated with that incident is probably gone after 3 years. But think of all the lost money and lost revenue they had because of that. Any kind of major family event, birthday parties, anniversaries, and stuff, and there was stuff coming up. They missed out on all of that business, and we had to go. We went to other places, or we just ate at home. And I mean, I've long since forgiven Red Lobster because I associate it with all these like memories of going there and seeing my dad get the Admiral's Feast. And I had my first Long Island iced tea at the age of 17 at Red Lobster. So my parents didn't know what a Long Island iced tea was, so I ordered one. I don't think I really knew what it was either, and I got hammered. I gave it to my brother, and the worst thing is there was a family friend at dinner with us, and I'm doing my best to hide it. I pass it over to my brother, and my brother says, and I quote, after taking a sip, "Mad alcohol, yo." And he whispered it, so my mom and dad didn't know. But yeah, 17. It's pretty young.
Yeah, I want to say that personally, I think I started my career in alcoholism, I want to say at 16.
Oh,
I think around 16.
gotcha.
Because that was the first time I went to a country party with a couple of friends, and we had warm beer and not vodka, tequila and Sprite,
Whoa.
which looking back
In retrospect.
is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, this is the things you learn. Like, I feel like those at pivotal ages, sometimes high school, sometimes college, you kind of learn how to drink, and then more, just as important, how not to drink.
I mean, I would never order a tequila and Sprite. I would never make myself. There is a level of desperation that you need to get to force yourself to have tequila and Sprite.
Or self-loathing.
Either one. I will say that that kind of tying this into the BGG.con conversation. My roommates and I always have like a signature drink that we do. One year it was, oh, what was it? It was some sort of rum concoction. I don't remember. Last year it was Arnold Palmer's. But since we don't have a fridge in our hotel room, we can't have anything cold. So last year it was lemonade, powdered lemonade and vodka, or not, or powdered lemonade and iced tea vodka, which doesn't work quite as well as you might think.
About to say, country time is a bad time.
Yeah. This year we are fancying it up just a little bit more. We are doing two drinks that you can have on ice. We are doing Moscow Mules and Long Island tea.
Oh man, I saw your Moscow Mule. Well, spoiler for a future episode of D&D. I saw your Moscow Mule yesterday, and I was thinking that's my wife's favorite drink.
Yeah, and I even had the copper mug for it.
Nice. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the copper mug does everything. It just really it's not a Moscow Mule without the copper mug.
Well, I'm not bringing our copper mugs for this. We have a set of sippy cups that I bought my roommates a couple of years ago, and that's what we tote our alcohol in. So when we go down and play games, we have these sippy cups that are totally loaded with booze.
So it's gonna be a Donetsk. If you use the ingredients, you can't make a Moscow Mule. Maybe you can make a Crimean Mule or a Donetsk Mule.
It's gonna be so we are gonna be able to have the lemon and lime. We need the lemon juice for the LITs, and then we also need the lime juice for the mules. I think we can get away without refrigerating either of them. I think. I don't think you really need to refrigerate lemon or lime juice. I could be mistaken on that.
Listeners, if you know, tweet us.
If you
at
know,
Glib
let us
Shark.
know. But that's kind of the plan, and I do need to make a booze run. I am picking up my buddy's wife on the way down tomorrow after work. So the plan was that we were going to meet up and then have grilled cheese sandwiches. She was going to make like grilled cheese sandwiches for the road, and she kept calling it, and she was very, very keen on coining this phrase in front of her husband. She called it our Ooey Gooey dinner date.
Ooey Gooey dinner date. That actually sounds like a really good podcast name.
So like she
Part of
was
the
just
Maximum
like
Fun Network.
she was like, Jonathan, are you ready for our Ooey Gooey dinner date? And she would say it just like that, and like her husband would be like standing right there, and I'm like, oh yeah, and we both like look at her husband and be like, troll faces. But because she is getting out of work a little too late, we are foregoing Ooey Gooey dinner date, and
No!
instead, what we're doing is Ooey Gooey drive Thruey.
I mean, it also sounds like a Denny's marketing like thing. Like the Denny's bought a drive-through movie like a movie and like Ooey Gooey dinner date followed by Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity Breakfast, or is that IHOP?
That's IHOP.
Oh shoot. Denny's and IHOPs. It's like they're like the Tom Selleck and Burt Reynolds of restaurants to me. Like, I always get those. I mean, I guess they're different people in theory.
Yeah.
But I always get those two mixed up sometimes.
I remember, I think the last time I ate at Denny's was again at a BGG.con, and it was at the old venue that was a hotel that was near the airport, but not on the airport property. And across the street was a Denny's. And so that was a really good place to go and get like 3 a.m. drunk food, as Denny's is. I mean, that's not uncommon for a Denny's.
That's kind of Denny's thing. That and like, oh gosh, not to keep bad mouthing or reverse buzz marketing a company, but man, Chacho's was terrible. Like I could have literally picked any other place in Mexican place in Houston and would have had a better meal. I think. I don't know if you're familiar with Chacho's or not.
I am not. No.
They have them in San Antonio too, but like it's sort of like a 24-hour Mexican place. It's sort of meant for when the bars close down, you need something to soak up all the alcohol, you can go there. But my wife and I just flew into to Houston from Philly, and we needed something to eat, and we figured let's get some Mexican food. And the only game in town was Chacho's, and it was like super salty, and they didn't even have barbacoa. Although I had fake barbacoa in Buffalo. They had like a little corner store, like next to the place. It was really brisket. So it resembled barbacoa. I was branded as barbacoa, but it was actually just beef brisket in a taco, which is still good times. You can do a lot worse than brisket in a taco.
I think that's actually what Chipotle quote unquote barbacoa is. I've as much as I love getting the barbacoa at Chipotle, I I'm not 100% convinced that it's actual barbacoa.
I mean, yeah, it's like, did this meat actually come from? They also had a flavor called lengua, which I guess is tongue.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, they were out of lengua, unfortunately, and my wife and I went there, sort of, killing time on Sunday after the wedding we had to go to, and on the way to meet to church, and then like a later dinner with friends. So we figured we can stop by for a snack. And it continued the streak where if my wife and I watch an Eagles game together, the Eagles or any football team that we cheer for, that football team loses. We watched
Yeah.
last two Super Bowls together. The teams we wanted to lose. Every Eagles game we watch together, the Eagles lose. Although that may have to do with stroking a picture of Marcus Mariota in your spare time is not a strategy. Just saying.
Today was like last couple of days have kind of been bloody in the NFL. If we want to transition to football talk,
We can. Sounds like we already have.
Brandon Whedon got let go from the Cowboys. Rob Ryan got fired from the Saints. Who else? Cowboys also let go Randy White and the other guy who had beaten women essentially.
Ooh. Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, I think they released them. I think the quote that I saw on Twitter was for locker room issues and performance.
Yeah, we're already like more than halfway done the season, and the East looks kind of ridiculous. The NFC East, it's still insane. It's like everyone's trying to fall to the bottom.
It's a fight to bury themselves.
It really is. Like New York had a decent thing. I mean, you could argue that for one call, it could have went New York's way, and up until this game, New York had always had New England's number. But Tom Brady finally got one up on his hated rivals. We saw that game too.
Yeah, I have no idea how the season is going to turn out because things that you thought were going to go all the way are getting like like who would have thought the Bengals losing would have been a big deal.
Right, like years and years ago, that was like Tuesday. That was what you called Sunday, the day when the
That
Bengals
was
lost,
Sunday or Monday.
and or Monday, occasional Monday. Now, I mean, they finally went on, and then I think Carolina's still undefeated, right?
I believe so. Let's consult the internet. We don't have a stat guy, but we have the internet.
The following is a presentation of Glib Sports, I guess.
Oh, so speaking of other sports shows, I actually did get a tweet off to one Mr. Tyler Coe.
Ah,
He is cursed. He is literally cursed
why is he cursed?
because every time he picks a team, they lose.
Ah, is Tyler a part of Sports Ball?
Yes, he is the host.
That's what it is. I knew that name sounded familiar. I've been meaning to listen to Sports Ball. I haven't got around to it yet.
They do live episodes on Tuesday afternoon, and then generally they're up on the RT site by Wednesday, and I think they're up on YouTube by like Thursday or Friday or something.
Well, I'm grateful they do it in the afternoon because
Yeah.
we can't. I feel like we would not do well.
But anyway, so
But yeah.
what he did was he picked OU in OU Texas, and if you don't know, OU lost, and that was a game that a lot of people had figured OU had no chance to lose. Texas is terrible. They still, and I use that pronoun appropriately because they are still terrible. And OU was okay. OU had been doing pretty good. We go into Dallas and we just get curb stomped. We got completely bushwhacked. So this week, OU played Baylor, and Tyler picks Baylor. And on paper, it looks like Baylor should kick the ever-loving crap out of us.
Unfortunately, the game is not played on paper.
Exactly. And we ended up pulling it out and then putting it back in, then pulling out once more, then putting it back in several more times, and then getting the fuck out of Waco with a win.
Emphasis on win. Bet you thought I was going to say fuck. But
So
yeah, it's like snatching
it's
defeat
funny.
from the
It's
jaws of
funny to
victory.
listen to them because like last week they went on a big rant on how like these certain college football fans were terrible, and obviously as a bunch of Longhorns they focused on OU a little bit, and it's nothing that I haven't heard from Jack Patillo before. So it's just like, okay, come on, buddy, come up with some new material. Jeez.
What else is new? Gosh, I'm gonna have to check that podcast out. I'm still kind of in my go tos right now, or Judge John Hodgman, Rachel Miles Explain the X Men, Nerdist, and those are my three main ones right now. And then also the Economist podcast because I'm a nerd and a businessman.
I did finally finish season 1 of Silicon Valley.
Oh, what'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was subtle. Like a lot of it wasn't like laugh out loud, but it kind of like sneaks up on you. It's subversively funny. Also, did not realize that Guilfoyle's satanic girlfriend was the chick from the AT&T commercials.
Oh, Milena Weintraub.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. She is also in that Yahoo screen series Outer Space, which is
Yes.
sort of like the American version of Red Dwarf. She plays like this sort of ditzy Uzbekistani girl, which doesn't. It sounds, I guess, a little misleading, but like really, she's kind of like the main character's love interest, but really she has no time or space for him, and she's kind of ridiculous and borderline insane. That whole
Yeah.
series is actually really good. You've seen Outer Space.
I know of it.
Okay. I highly recommend it. I mean, created by Paul Feig. If that name sounds familiar, Ghostbusters and a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, like I actually watched. Have you seen Master of None yet?
I have seen 8 episodes of Master of None.
Oh, so you're well on your way. It's no, I enjoy it. Like I feel like it's kind of like Louis in that they're like little mini vignettes that can stand on their own. And they deal with like these themes, but it's also from Aziz's standpoint, and it's kind of sillier because it's Aziz. But there's so much I associate with, and the funny thing I posted about this on Facebook was like because Aziz's character's family and Aziz that are from like Tamil Nadu, like the language is similar enough to Malayalam, which is what my wife speaks, what my parents speak, and her parents speak, and I kind of know a little bit that I was able to understand everything they were saying without subtitles. Ayo. That's something I've heard in my house before.
I do like the series, and it's kind of funny because it seems there are more poignant moments than you would expect in a show like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of,
A lot of bittersweet stuff going on.
it ties into the whole, like, and there's a lot about a lot of stuff, but I think ultimately it's a show about, like, being in your 30s, but still kind of acting like you're in your 20s.
Yeah. It's not as cynical as BoJack Horseman,
It's uplifting
Not
in some
even
ways.
close. But it's similar enough in that it is very smart humor, but it is good stuff. And I love the love interest, Rachel. I did not realize she was actually from San Antonio.
She's so adorable. Rachel Wells?
Yeah.
Oh my, I don't know, Noelle Wells, I guess was her name. But like Rachel's character is just sort of like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And their whole back and forth, the chemistry with her and Aziz Ansari, it's just so amazing to see them go back at the banter. Like they're a couple you're kind of rooting for.
Yeah. I haven't gotten the end. We haven't seen the last 2 episodes, but hopefully when I do get back, we'll catch that, and then we'll catch up with Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah,
I
that's coming out on the 20th.
Yeah, it comes out while I'm in the board gaming convention. So guess who's not going to be watching Jessica Jones this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stretch it out. I'm not gonna binge it or whatever because there's that and Man in the High Castle. So I have to find myself first. Step 1, find Amazon Prime account or friend with Amazon Prime. Step 2, alternate between Jessica Jones and Man in the High Castle. Have I told you about that one yet?
I have watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh, the second one's up too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm gonna check that out on Amazon. But yeah, I saw the first episode and I just I love the whole world, the whole theory of a sort of alternate history Cold War where it's about the Germans, the Japanese, and America's kind of the background for it. I just think that's kind of brilliant, and it's based on Philip K. Dick's work. And typically, it's weird. His work, when adapted, tends to have a higher success rate than other artists, like let's say Dr. Seuss, who
Or Stephen King.
what's that?
Or Stephen King.
Or Stephen King, yeah. Where I think the majority of Philip K. Dick adaptations I've seen have been good. And I don't know if it's because his work just is more adaptable to other mediums, or because it just gets handled by better talents. I don't even know who the creator of Man in the High Castle is, or who the executive producer is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Go on and look it up. Do my Google foo. Keep it rolling while I take a look.
Well, I will take the opportunity to mention the other topic that I wanted to discuss, and it is something that has pervaded our group of friends. It's a game that you can play on your phone, and it's called Neko Atsui, aka Kitty Collector.
That's what I've been seeing all the pictures.
Oh my god! I'm checking my cats right now.
See, executive producers Ridley Scott. That's why it's so good.
Right.
That explains it.
It's a little bit of a pedigree. Okay, I only have one cat right now. It is Gozer. His personality is sore loser. His power level is 155. I'm not sure what those numbers mean. And he has visited 3 times. His top 3 goodies used are the baseball and 3-tiered cat tree.
Oh wow. I've actually been going back and playing the Kingdom Rush games on my phone. I got a new phone recently, an iPhone 6s, last month when I switched to Sprint, and I got a phone with 64 gigs. So all of a sudden, I have all memory for all of the apps I didn't have memory for before. So it downloaded everything I had bought from the App Store ever across the years. So I had to delete some stuff like the Curiosity game, which is no longer running, and a few other, and the I Am Ninja app. But the Kingdom Rush games are a lot of fun. It's just a tower defense game where like you have this cute little animation style, and you have it's sort of a medieval setting. You're familiar with Kingdom Rush, right?
I am not.
Okay, well, anyway, it's a fun little game where you have these progressively more difficult waves of monsters. I'm kind of just a sucker for a good tower defense game, even a bad one. Quite.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah. I mean, there's a place for mobile gaming for sure. I think in some ways you get a more rewarding experience on a lot of console games out there.
I am just really, I'm really liking this Neko Atsumi game. I like it because I can talk to my friends the same way I can talk about like Fallout Shelter, and it's the polar opposite of Fallout Shelter. I was telling someone this who was asking about the game. Fallout Shelter, when you played it, would require all of your attention, like every ounce of attention that you have, it demands while you're playing. Then you can put it away and not worry about it. Neko Atsumi is the opposite. It requires almost no attention. And it literally tells you in the tutorial, hey, so you're going to be taking breaks, and then kitties will come visit, and you'll just have to check back later and see if kittens have visited. If you keep your screen up, it won't change. You won't get new visitors. You have to exit the app for things to actually happen. And it's kind of unique. And then you can come back and maybe you have five cats roaming around your yard, or maybe fucking Tubbs has come around and eaten all your good food again. God damn it, Tubbs.
Oh man,
I'm sick of Tubbs. What the fuck, Tubbs?
What happened to you, man? You should be on Miami Vice. You should be cool. But yeah, gosh, Neko had. I don't think I need another mobile game, but I may have to give this a look.
I'm sorry, I'm checking cats again.
No, of course you are.
But it's kind of funny to talk about friends with kitties. I know that one of the first friends that I heard playing it was our friend Abby, and Abby,
of course, she plays.
Already has tons of cats at her house.
Right. So, art imitates life.
Exactly. I was like, Abby, you don't need more cats. You literally do not need more cats. You definitely don't need more virtual cats to take care of. But she's like, and her response naturally was, but kitties.
Well,
sure. How she was justifying it.
That's a pretty touche. That's all you have to say to that. It's a good retort. But I could see her going to that game pretty far. But I don't know what it is about console games. I played Halo 5. I guess I'll go into the multiplayer eventually. But we may do a legendary, I guess, at some point. I'd be down for that. Just we'll schedule it out. But the next game, I think I've said this many times on the show that I'm looking forward to is Mass Effect Andromeda, and I
Oh
can't
yeah.
think of anything that I'm going to immerse myself in as much as that game when it comes out, because I have spent so much time and hours cultivating all my different shepherds from the Mass Effect games, and it's promising an even bigger experience, and it's going to be on a better system. So like, I am kind of excited.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first Mass Effect game that I'm probably going to be getting into ground floor on.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and the fact they used the Johnny Cash song "Ghost Riders in the Sky" for the trailer, I thought was just, oh my gosh, that's perfect. It sort of communicates a very different feel, and yet something very familiar. So what else?
I'm trying to think of anything we can talk about D&D wise. Episode 5 just came out.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Like, have you been
Oh
noticing there's
my
an?
god.
I've been having trouble with my app. Like every time I try to play it, it'll say this episode is temporarily unavailable, so I'll have to physically download it to my phone. It won't let me stream it for some reason.
That is kind of weird. I've probably listened to that episode 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah. Oh, hail Tiamat.
Hail to you, Matt.
I'm gonna download it. You know what? If you're having trouble with it, let me know. In the meantime, you can definitely download it to your phone. Click the little cloud button on there. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I'll be sure and put it up on the Glib Shark site so you can just click a button and stream it there.
That
It
would be neat
is-
if we were able to combine like the first like couple episodes and like do like a combination stream of pictures and stuff like that. I think it lends itself to YouTube very easily.
Yeah, it is. This episode, I kept alluding to the fact that Jules is killing it, and you get that in other episodes. This one, she makes the episode. She really does, and that, considering the work that she's done in some of the other shows, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good ensemble, but I feel like Jules is kind of like one of the secret weapons.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She is just she's so wonderful. And
Which makes the way we leave it before the hiatus all the more interesting. No
yeah,
spoilers.
so well we'll get to that eventually, folks. You'll hear things get real.
Things get
And
real.
we'll see how much of that stays in the show.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and this is, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think to be authentic, to deliver an authentic D&D experience, I kind of have to drink. Don't have to drink a lot, but you have to drink at least something. And things come out when you drink. But it's at the end of the day, it's like we're storytellers. We want to tell a captivating story, and one of the best things about story is conflict. So I think it makes for a more compelling story experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes.
So I have a little anecdote, and it doesn't help the notion that I am Jonathan the Toastmaster guy. So tomorrow we're having a really big meeting. We've been promoting it. We're going to be in a big room. We are going to be providing barbecue for lunch. It's a big deal. There's one member of our club who is extremely soft-spoken. Like, this guy has been in Toastmasters for a while now, but you still, when he talks to you, you have to strain a little bit to try and hear him. He has asked me for the last, I want to say, week, every time he has run into me in the hall, if I am, quote unquote, ready for tomorrow's meeting. Now, here's the thing. I am not doing anything for the meeting. I gave a speech last week, and I am not up for any speeches this week. Don't think I even have a role. There's literally nothing I have to get ready for except matching shoes, nice pants, and showing up.
Jonathan, are you ready? Are you ready for the meeting?
Screw you.
We actually have our open house for this weekend for our Toastmasters chapter. I I'm pretty excited. I believe I have to take a look at what I'm doing. I think I'm actually toast. No, I was Toastmaster last week. I think for this meeting, I'm evaluating a speech, which is something I've been doing a lot more ever since I got my competent communicator. I've been kind of slowly doing my advanced manuals, but I kind of a lot of our club is new at this, so I want to give them the benefit of encouraging them to keep speaking because it's the hardest thing. We've had people in our club for months who haven't given their like who have takes them a long time to admit to build their first speech, and I kind of want to be like, well, what's stopping you? Come on, the whole reason you're here is to sort of break down that fear. This is a basically a consequence free environment. We're not judgmental. We don't laugh or anything like that when people speak. We're a supportive environment.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? You mean you're paying dues? You get your money's worth. Crank out some speeches.
My next speech is the body language speech, and so I'm trying to think of a good theme for that.
That's number 8.
It's number 5.
Number 5. Oh, okay, that's right. Let's see, body
It's
language.
number 5 in the competent communicator. Competent leadership. I'm almost done with the role part.
Wow.
Like at some point, I'm gonna have to start running projects and stuff if I'm gonna finish that manual.
Yeah, leader. I've been dragging my feet on. They were trying to get me to do this before in the next 6 months, and I've done everything, role at least once at this point. But I barely opened that thing. I feel bad for the nice gentleman in the suit who's smiling at me in my CL manual.
A lot of times I will get voluntold a role. There have been at least 2 meetings where I've shown up, and then when the general evaluator is introducing the evaluation team, he says my name as a role, and I'm like, oh, apparently I'm this role this week.
How good are you guys at word of the day? Like, do you feel like you guys use it in the speech?
It depends on the word. I actually called someone out on word of the day last time. Like someone said the word gesticulate, and someone else said, "Oh, that should be a word of the day." So I get up. I think I actually was grammarian that week, and I said, gesticulate is a great word of the day, especially when it was the word of the day last week when I was also grammarian, and it was word of the day, and no one used it.
Calling them out on their shenanigans.
Oh, it was great. It was awesome.
Wow.
But they've come to expect those sort of shenanigans from me.
And everyone knows you're a talented, capable public speaker. Like I know it. You spoke very well at my wedding. You spoke at Jonesy's wedding, and you are the master of toast. The toast has been mastered.
Oh God, now I want toast.
I kind of do too. I want champagne.
Let's resolve to have toast after this.
Resolved. Company meeting. So next week I guess we'll go to Actor Action Report about BG.con and also talk about our Thanksgiving plans and potentially, if we're feeling particularly generous, some picks for the 3 Thanksgiving games for the National Football League.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any upcoming games that we want to make picks on this week?
Gosh, who knows with the Philadelphia Eagles, especially with Butt Fumble like being the starter next week. It's Tampa Bay, but I don't even know. One pick that I will make is that if my wife and I watch this game together, the Eagles will probably lose. That streak should continue.
I feel like that's a Silver Linings Playbook sort of deal.
I actually haven't seen that movie yet.
Really?
I've been meaning to. It's like I've been trying to get my wife to watch it with me because I think it's perfect for us. But like, she's not feeling it. She's more of an action film person. Like on the way home, we watched Thor: The Dark World. I finally saw that. That was pretty solid.
Oh,
I haven't seen the first Thor yet. But
okay. Well, the first Thor, first Thor is okay.
Second Thor was pretty funny. I felt like the world of Asgard is very well developed, and I like that it's a combination of like science and sorcery kind of feel. Like it has a sci-fi vibe, but is also like a medieval world, like magic and stuff like that. It feels otherworldly, but not like space otherworldly.
Yeah, I did like how, like Thor: The Dark World. It's surprising that people don't regard it very well. They actually they tend to put it on the lower tier of Marvel movies, and I don't understand why. Because when I saw it, it was really funny. I thought it took Thor into directions that I thought were good. I loved the little random humor, like when he got stuck on the subway and had to ask for directions, or when Mjolnir flew by and Darcy, who had not said this word since the first movie, was like Mew Mew. I cracked my shit up at that. That was great.
Ah, Kat. I didn't even realize Kat Dennings was in the Thor movies. She is adorable.
She has her assets.
I'm gonna say it's a upper tier Marvel movie. I would go as far to say that. If I had to rank,
I believe I have it in my B tier, along with Iron Man and no Iron Man and Age of Ultron.
I want to. I mean, there's only two of them, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's the best Thor movie.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one yet though, so it's hard for me to evaluate fairly. But based on what I've heard,
First Thor is okay. It's just he's not really playing for big stakes, and maybe that's good because not every superhero should be trying to save the world per se.
yeah,
But it's this tale of growth for Thor that I'm just not interested in. And by far the best part of the Thor movie is Loki. And then Loki shows up in Avengers, which is great.
Sure.
He is one of the reasons why Avengers was so good.
Oh, that ending though of Thor 2. And we actually watched Thor 2 and then watched Guardians of the Galaxy immediately afterwards. So it kind of worked out pretty well because she hadn't seen it yet. And I'm like, oh, well, there's some continuity. I had to explain the whole, Infinity Stones thing to her. And how
Well, I think it's cool that in the post-credit scenes for Thor: Dark World, they introduced the idea of Infinity Stones because they had been alluded to. You figured that the Tesseract was an Infinity Gem, not an Infinity Stone like they are in the cinematic universe. But then you kind of maybe thought that Loki's staff was one too, and the way the Aether behaved, it was kind of one too. And then they straight up say, "Yeah, Tesseract and Aether, Infinity Stones."
yeah. And then of course Thanos. One of my coworkers has like it's total mad on for Thanos. He's like, yeah, the Mad Titan. He is such a badass. And like anytime Thanos comes on the board, he sort of goes all fanboy on it. And I don't blame him. Thanos is cool. I want to see him like talking to death though, like he did in the Silver Surfer cartoon.
Yeah, I think we'll get that. I will probably get something along those lines. I would imagine in the Doctor Strange movie.
You think Thanos will be in there?
Maybe or I guess at the beginning of Infinity Wars. I mean, those are coming up.
And then yeah, I guess Doctor Strange comes out next year, right?
Yes, next year it is
Captain America,
Captain America,
and then Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. The following year is when they start ramping up to 3 movies a year. So we're going to get Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and
Spider-Man, right?
And Spider-Man, yes.
Ah, gosh, I kind of don't know who they're going to make the Spider-Man villain. Like I kind of want it to be someone we don't see like a lot of, like a modern villain, like a Moreland or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Green Goblin because we've seen
him twice already in
Goblins.
2 different. Yeah, they need to put the Goblin to rest. I mean, Doctor Octopus was good in Spider-Man 2, but like, I don't think you want to save him for like down the road. A Mysterio would work well in that context. The Vulture, or you could just pull somebody from the MCU or the Kingpin.
I don't know that Spider-Man would be a good fit for the Kingpin in the MCU.
Yeah, Netflix is kind of like, you got all ages property, and then you have like an adult property. So that's a good point. Who else? Like the Lizard we've already seen. Yeah, Mysterio would work pretty well, or Moreland, or potentially Kraven the Hunter would be kind of cool because we haven't seen him yet.
No, we haven't seen him. Yeah, I think someone outside of Spider-Man's normal rogue gallery, I could see that. I could also see them just dipping back in and going with a Doc Ock or going with a Goblin or maybe Hobgoblin or something like that, where it's not the Green Goblin, but it's Green Goblin-ish.
Yeah. Hobgoblin's actually a pretty interesting character. Like he's in the comics, he's a dude named Roderick Kingsley, who's sort of like a, kind of a cunning, like criminal mastermind kind of character who nobody knows who the Hobgoblin was for a long time. And he's got the glider and stuff, but he's not like this guy with a mat on for Spider-Man. He's just this dude who Spider-Man's always getting in his way.
Switching superhero gears for a little bit. Have you been watching any of Supergirl?
I watched the first episode and I was a little underwhelmed.
I thought that the first episode was probably the weakest of the run so far. And part of my personal thinking behind that was they had this extended preview that was like it was a 5 or 6 minute preview, and somehow they showed all the interesting bits from the first Supergirl episode. Like 40 minutes of television they squeezed into 6 minutes effectively somehow. Subsequent episodes have gotten better, and especially when they start exploring Kara Zor-El's like motivations, what she's doing, why she's still doing it, and expanding the characters around her. I think they're kind of dropping the ball with Jimmy Olsen a little bit, but Kara's sister is by far probably the most developed secondary character. And that's pretty good. I just like it because it is just about the polar opposite of where superheroes on TV were going. Like Arrow was trying to be dark, and Gotham is trying to be dark, and Supergirl is just like, you know what? Fuck this. We're gonna have fun, and you're gonna see Supergirl flying around and just having a great time saving people, and also dealing with personal issues. But I so far I've really liked the show.
I'll have to give it a second chance. I feel like there's a huge pile of superhero shows that I haven't made time for: Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Gotham, and they
Oh,
deserve
I
a
would
second
put
look.
Superhero or Supergirl way above Gotham.
Okay, fair enough. Even season two, I've heard season two gotten better.
I didn't. I watched a couple episodes of Gotham and gave up on it. Like you were saying, the dearth of superhero shows.
Yeah.
Like I've already ditched iZombie, and I've liked where Flash and Arrow have been going this season.
Oh, multiverse and all that.
Yeah.
That said, my poor dog is scratching up my couch, so I think it's time to call this one a wrap.
I think we're at a good spot for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our sound producer is Jonathan, scratching up the couch at Cerna.
Sorry. God. All these. I'm somehow allergic to virtual kitties. Why?
Our announcer is the inimitable voice actor Bob Ball. You can follow him at Twitter at BobBallVO. Our music is done by Linnea Boyev. On behalf of Lauren Urban, who will hopefully be back at some point in the future, Jonathan Cerna, and the entire Glib Shark staff, this is Jack Edithel saying good night, good health, and all right.